is looking at you kids.
I wish I knew how to quit eating bugs.
This seems so James Bond.
There's no place like home.
I'm gonna make him an offer down with you.
Good day, everybody, or night, or whenever you are watching, listening to this. Either one. Welcome to another exciting edition of Gone with the Wind, a special edition today. It is SAG Reactions, and yes, this is not 10 a.m. Eastern Time. For both of us, we have Dan and I, so we're here at 12:48 p.m. I have not, I have avoided everything because I'm at work right now, and if you're watching this, you know that I'm currently in my car on my lunch break reacting to this. So we're doing the best that we can to do this. The laptop right now I'm recording on is currently on my knees. So you're going to see a little movement possibly. But I'm not alone, as I mentioned prior. I also have Dan. Welcome.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you asked, you wanted someone to do this with you, you knew I was going to be here ready to go for you, buddy.
Hey, I appreciate that. As long as you were not at work, I appreciate that right now. And I only have about 45 minutes, so hopefully we can knock this out within that time to be able to have reaction on Instagram Live, which I hate, because, man, I just can't really pause it. You have to use your fingers. Like right now, Fran Drescher is
He's talking.
Fran, the president of the SAG, she's talking right now. So right now, I'm just having it paused, and my finger is currently glued here. And we're going to be probably maybe a second off from each other, but I know you have it also on your phone as well to be able to get started whenever you are ready. But more than likely, we're going to be a little second off. But Dan has already seen the nominations, so he knows what's up, and he's excited just to see what I'm going to and how I'm going to react, because I have no idea.
Yeah, I can't wait to see your reactions to some of these.
From what you're implying, this means it's something egregious, perhaps.
Oh boy,
Dan, no. Okay, all right. Before we get started, the BAFTA long list recently came out right before this, so this is a really big day, and we're gonna briefly kind of chat about that. I guess the biggest thing is No Time to Die did fantastic, and it did fantastic when Daniel Craig made it into Best Actor long list. Which, wow. That's crazy. No Time to Die did really well. And Ana de Armas made it for Best Supporting Actress, who I thought was good, but also...
She was good.
She was, but I don't think an Oscar's in her future. I think this is more just we like you. We like you, Ana de Armas. We like you.
Remember, we had Rosamund Pike, what's her name? Twice last year. So, what's
Margot
her name?
Robbie.
Margot Robbie twice last year. So, I mean, actually, last year, the BAFTAs actually didn't do that bad. So we can't give them too much of a hard time.
No, BAFTAs probably had the most interesting list out of everybody. They felt really inspired. This year, the long list kind of felt, it's fine. The long list is not as inspired. There's not a lot of fun. I saw stuff for Boiling Point, a couple of other below the lines, but House of Gucci did really well. Don't Look Up did really well. I don't know why Mark Rylance made it in, and I swear if he makes it in over literally any of the Belfast boys, I will take both Belfast boys over Mark Rylance personally.
For what, BAFTA?
Yeah, because he made it into the long list, Rylance.
Well, the long list is one thing. Getting nominated, now that's another thing entirely, and that's when we're going to start having some issues if some of these crazy performances get nominated. And we're going to have to get our buddy from England back on that episode. Connor Lightbody. I can't wait to hear his opinion on some of these when they get the actual nominations.
BAFTA is going to be interesting, I can tell you that, mainly because the nominations are going to be slightly different, and by that I mean that the way they do the committee is different than last year, but it's also different than what they've done before. So it's really kind of uncharted territory with what we're going to expect. Because director looks really interesting too. You have Drive My Car make it in for director, but also missing out on a long list for picture. So it's really interesting. The picture lineup is kind of there's no foreign language films to my knowledge, which is kind of sad and disappointing. So yeah, that's kind of like our quick thoughts. We'll go over the long list a little more in our last episode, but I wanted to mention that because some of these people may actually be in the SAG nominations that we're about to react to. Can you confirm that for me, Dan? That some of
I
these
haven't
people
seen the BAFTA long list, so I don't know.
you haven't?
No, I have not.
Wow. Okay. Well, I would encourage you to go give it a shot whenever you get a chance. But
Oh, yeah.
there were some really interesting things, like Al Pacino made it on the long list for House of Gucci. I know,
Al
strange.
Pacino is one of my favorite actors of all time.
But then you also look and you saw Richard Jenkins missed out on The Humans for the long list for supporting. So it's like it's really interesting.
I don't think a lot of people saw The Humans. I know it
No.
sounds weird, even though it came out Thanksgiving here on Showtime. I just don't think people correlated Thanksgiving with let's go to Showtime and watch The Humans.
Of course.
You know, and we got my guild got screeners, so I got a screener of The Humans. So I know they put A24 put the screeners out there for Humans, but I guess just people just didn't gravitate towards it.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate because he's an esteemed actor, and it's interesting the fact they went so hard for House of Gucci on the BAFTA long list. But we'll get into that this coming week. Dan, are you ready for my reaction? Your reaction to my reaction to SAG?
Oh yeah, been waiting for this all morning.
And then you can go to bed, as much as you can, of course. I mean, all right. Wait, hold on. Now, before we begin. Dan, any quick words that I should know about before we start, or should I just go in completely blind?
The first half is all TV. So, I mean, if there's a way for you to get to the second half and you can just do the movie categories, there's 5 of them.
Okay.
And they put the stunt ensembles on their Instagram automatically. They didn't even announce them. They just put them on there automatically.
Oh. Well, in the meantime, while I'll just go ahead and be reacting to the whole thing, just so I'm not lost or whatnot.
Okay.
You get up the stunt ensembles, and we can get this party started.
I got it right here.
Oh, then go ahead. Hit us with what the stunt ensemble is for television and TV, or television and movie.
Motion picture stunt ensemble are as follows: Black Widow, Dune, The Matrix, Resurrections, is it? Yes. No Time to Die, and Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings.
I think that's a solid stunt ensemble right there. I have no complaints.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Those 5 films right there for stunt ensemble.
Yeah, excellent. Shang-Chi was also great. No Time to Die also had some good stunts too. I think that's a really solid list at the end of the day.
TV, Cobra Kai, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, Mare of Easttown, and Squid Game.
Nice, all the dead bodies in Squid Game that people just which that is a violent show, but I'm not sure if there's a lot of stunt work, but I could be wrong.
And now it's time for our motion picture.
All right, here we go. Motion picture. Here we go. Female actor in supporting.
Oh boy, here we go.
Belfast.
Okay.
Blanchett, Nightmare Alley. Ariana DeBose, West Side Story. Kirsten Dunst, The Power of the Dog. Ruth Negga.
You figured who was missing yet?
No Ingenue Ellis.
Bingo. No Ingenue Ellis. Keep watching.
What?
Keep watching next category.
The nominees are
You're going to get really surprised by the next one.
Ben Affleck.
I told you, man. I had him.
Coda. Jared Leto, House of Gucci.
No Belfast Boys.
No Belfast Boys. What the heck?
And guess what? Who's in there?
Leto. Wait, here we go.
Jessica Chastain.
Chastain.
Of Tammy Faye.
Okay.
Olivia Colman. The Lost Daughter. Lady Gaga. House
Lady
of
Gaga.
Gucci.
Okay.
Jennifer Hudson. R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Who's not in there?
Put some respect on that name.
Who's not in there, Manning?
Being the Ricardos.
So good. Now for standing performance.
Yes.
Kristen Stewart missed that.
Nominees are
Yes, she
Wait,
did.
wait.
Being the Ricardos.
Javier Bardem.
Yeah, that's not good.
Power of the Dog. Andrew Garfield. Tick tick boom.
Who's your favorite?
Yeah, Javier Bardem got in.
Will Smith. King Richard.
They love being the Ricardos, man. I tell you. Show movies about
No
movies.
Dinklage.
Peter, no Dinklage. No Dinklage.
Last but very much not least, the nominees
Nope.
for Outstanding Performance performance by a cast in a motion picture.
And ensemble's a surprise too, in a way.
Coda.
Coda?
Don't Look Up.
Yeah.
House of Gucci. King Richard.
They did it.
They love that House of Gucci, don't they?
They just gave ensemble to House of I could have. Okay, wow. Okay,
Only
yeah.
one
By
big
Vanessa,
cast.
by Rosario Dawson. Dan, wow. House of Gucci did really well.
Yeah, Jared Leto, Lady Gaga, and ensemble.
Yes.
They got the trifecta. And you say to yourself, they must really, really love House of Gucci.
Yeah.
And obviously, from what you told me about the BAFTAs, a lot of people love House of Gucci. Which
I guess it's not a critical darling, but it's maybe a
industry
it's an
darling.
Academy industry favorite, perhaps.
And what don't you see a lot of? We had Dunst, we have Cumberbatch, but no Power of the Dog and ensemble.
Which is funny because I actually took it out last minute and replaced it with King Richard, but I also had The Harder They Fall, and instead they went with House of Gucci.
They went with the smaller cast, except for the one that we thought was an obvious one, and that was Don't Look Up, the big cast.
That was a gimme.
Yeah, they went with the smaller. They didn't. I noticed that with the bigger cast, the Being the Ricardos, the Dunes, the big cast with a lot of people in it, they didn't go for those, except for Don't Look Up.
But they didn't go for. They liked Being the Ricardos, but they didn't go with it in ensemble.
Nope. Only Javier and Nicole. But that's good.
It's good for them. But speaking of which, Kristen Stewart missed out on the front runner, the supposed front runner, missed out on SAG.
All right, my snubs are as follows. All right. Okay, these are my snubs. Now you tell me if Kristen Stewart Spencer, Best Actress. Ingenue Ellis, King Richard, Best Supporting Actress.
Yes.
Peter Dinklage, Cyrano, Best Actor. Syrian Hines and Jamie Dornan, Belfast, Best Supporting Actor. Dune, Nightmare Alley, Licorice Pizza, Being the Ricardos for Best Ensemble. That's what I have for snubs.
For me, I'm so glad that I switched out because I know we talked last time. I had Marlee Matlin. If you go to my Gold Derbies, I switched out Ruth Negga last bit because I'm like, they really liked her. She made it in for Loving.
Passing.
Yeah.
We talked about that. Could they make up for not giving her that knob for Loving by giving her a knob this time for Passing? And what do? They did exactly that.
Yep.
So if you want to hear my surprises, I have my surprises here. Then you can comment on these.
Shoot, yeah.
Jared Leto, Lady Gaga, House of Gucci, and House of Gucci in ensemble. Best Supporting Actor, Actress, and Ensemble. Cate Blanchett, Nightmare Alley. Jennifer Hudson, Respect, Best Actress. Javier Bardem, Being the Ricardos, Best Actor, and Ruth Negga, Passing, Best Supporting Actress. Those are my surprises. So, go ahead.
Which I guess I'm not surprised that Jared Leto made it in. I was about to say I don't think I got 1 5 for 5. Everyone I missed out on. I got 4 for 4 in actress and ensemble, and actor. But then again, like supporting actress and I got 4 for 4 in supporting actress, but I missed out on 2 because I've had both the. Wait, did I miss out?
Boys.
Yeah, I had both the Belfast Boys, which makes me think maybe they split because there's no clear front runner. Like, remember how for SAG, I look back 2 years ago, there was this consensus that Woody Harrelson was going to come along with Sam Rockwell for 3 Billboards because Sam Rockwell is dominating, and maybe his domination said like, oh, he's already there, I'm going to get him, but I'm also going to bring in Woody Harrelson for playing the police chief. Maybe because there is no front runner, people think, oh, I like Dornan, but I also like Kieran Hines. Perhaps that they split and they couldn't decide on a consensus. And instead you had, Bradley Cooper got in for a performance that is similar to Judi Dench in Shakespeare in Love, a walk-on but memorable scene or a couple scenes, you know?
Yeah. He won, obviously. I don't want to be a broken record. He won our critics group's best supporting actor. I didn't vote for him. In my 5 potential, I did not vote for him at all. So
Yeah,
there you go. It just tells you how popular he is in that particular role.
Oh yeah. And wait, so who made it? Okay, do you have? Okay, do you have it up right now? The nominations. I'm gonna get it up on mine.
But I
Real
kind of
fast.
remember. I don't have them up, but I kind of can remember them.
SAG nominations 2022. All right, so I'm looking at Variety right now, just for clarification. I'm not okay with what you guys told me last time about the possibility of, Jennifer Hudson getting in. In retrospect, you're right; it makes sense. But we all had her for the wrong person getting out, which makes me.
I didn't want Jennifer Hudson or Lady Gaga getting in without getting Kristen Stewart in. So that's kick out Lady Gaga, Kristen Stewart's in, boom, there's my 5. Kick out Javier Bardem, put in Peter Dinklage, there's my 5.
Yeah.
Okay. I was happy to see Cate Blanchett get in and Ruth Negga, but not at the expense of Aunjanue Ellis. You see what I'm saying?
Agreed. Which is really disappointing because they obviously liked King Richard. It made it an ensemble, which
yeah,
really
and best
weird.
actor, obviously. But that. And how about the one nominee for West Side Story, which is what I said all along, that she is the one that is holding the flag for that movie because she's the best part of the movie. And
agreed.
They only gave her the only nomination.
I think
Ariana DeBose.
I remember when we had a recording, forgot whom it was, Infinite Jeff, I believe, was saying that the screeners for West Side Story, similar to Little Women, I believe, from what I've heard from FYC for your consideration, said that the screeners for West Side Story were delayed, meaning there was not enough support to think, because you would think it would be, with its cast, it would be a shoe-in for ensemble. And if you looked at Gold Derby, it was up there in the top 5. But I guess because it was not seen. It was just not seen.
Same thing I think would happen with Cyrano. I don't think people seen it, even though my critics group got it back in late November. I don't know. Maybe the actors and the people in the SAG after didn't get a chance to see Cyrano. It doesn't come out till next week, the 21st, I believe. So, or around there. So maybe that's the reason why Peter Dinklage didn't get in. That's why you were always going to have a little bit of discontinue, what's the word I'm looking for? Disconnect from the SAG to the Oscars.
Always.
Because of that.
So the big test is going to be, because Kristen Stewart made the long list for BAFTA for Best Actress.
She's going to get in there, and she's probably going to win. They are going to love that at BAFTA. I put my money on it.
Or will the British Academy not like her because of the portrayal of the movie of Diana? Because it is controversial. The movie in itself is controversial, and it's not hitting on all cylinders for most people, myself included. But I'm not the Academy voter, be it BAFTA or the actual Oscars. I think that that's going to be detrimental. The fact that Spencer was just not well received outside of critics,
Well, I'm hoping maybe that BAFTA can rescue her.
Agreed.
And I mean, from what I'm hearing after the fact, it is a fictitious portrayal.
Yes.
It is not a real 3-day weekend over Christmas or whatever. See, I thought it was a realistic thing. I thought it actually happened. Come to find out, it didn't happen. That wasn't how things happened.
And maybe the British Academy of, BAFTA will not appreciate the liberties taken with this story. I could be wrong, though. They could actually really embrace it. I do feel like she gets nominated in the end, but I think this destroyed her chances at winning. Like, she is not winning the Oscar, I think, now.
Well, then who is it? My girl over here to my right? Is it my girl over there? Not there, over there. Where? I'm pointing in the wrong direction.
There you go.
Over here? Is it over here, my girl Chastain? Is it finally her time?
It might be Kidman again.
Yeah, they love Kidman.
They liked being the Ricardos enough to bring Javier Bardem in, who I thought, again, was very charismatic in being the Ricardos, but I feel like in comparison, I don't think he's a top 5 of the year, but they liked him enough where they didn't go with J.K. Simmons, who was in critics. They went with Jared Leto, which I'm not shocked. He's a very showy performance, but also watch him get a Razzie at the same time, and I'm going to love it. He's going to get an Oscar and a Razzie, a la Glenn Close last year for Hillbilly Elegy, which, again, that was not deserved, but that's another topic for another day. You know, it's going to be fascinating just to see how this shapes up, because this kind of gave life to the idea that Bradley Cooper can get in for his 10-minute cameo supporting performance in Licorice Pizza. And I think this propelled him, because I thought that was dead in the water once we saw it. Because I remember after you saw it, you were like, take him out. It's a good performance, but it's so small. But I guess that didn't matter for SAG.
Well, they won. I think what happened was they figured, okay, we'll put him into this, and that way we can put somebody else into actor, because he's got 2 shots at it. Same thing with Kate Blanchett. She's got 2 shots, both supporting, but she had 2 shots, and she ended up getting in for the one I thought she deserved to get in for, because I just really love her in Nightmare Alley. And I was like, don't sleep on Kate Blanchett. I think she's really good in Nightmare Alley as the kind of femme fatale, the ingenue, not ingenue Ellis, but but this kind of dark kind of woman who kind of goes along with Bradley Cooper the second half of the movie, you know. But yeah, I mean, to me, the Gucci stuff is the biggest surprise. Stewart,
Yeah.
Dinklage, those are the big ones. But no, it was going to be hard for all of us to just get this right.
I never expect to be perfect for SAG. I never expect to be perfect for any of them. But to me, I guess, okay, if we're looking at it, we can both agree the biggest snub undoubtedly was Kristen Stewart in and at the end I took out, I think Power of the Dog missing does not hurt his chances, because you look at some other film, it has a smaller cast. So that's not too shocking.
They got 3 nominees: Smith McPhee, Dunst.
They did well. Yeah. I think Dylan last night was telling us that from the Dill Pickle Network, Power of the Dog could miss based upon solely that fact that it's a smaller. And I forgot the comparison. What was it? What was the front runner last year?
For SAG cast ensemble.
Yeah,
cast?
What was the it was Charlie's Nomadland. Nomadland missed. It's just a smaller cast, even though it won Best Picture.
That wasn't going to get in ensemble when you had Trial of the Chicago 7, that
Agreed.
massive cast.
So that makes sense.
Why I think you can't correlate SAG ensemble with Best Picture, because they could give it to Don't Look Up, and I mean, you might correlate it. Like, it's going to be like the 8th, 9th, or 10th movie in there. It's not going to be in the top 5, and it's not even going to. I don't think it's going to be the top 5 vote getters when it comes to the Oscars.
So does this help House of Gucci's chances in Best Picture? Is it number 10? Listen, go ahead.
Well, there goes Spider-Man's shot. If they're championing, if people are championing, and the actors branch is the largest branch of the Academy Awards, so we have to remember that. If they're championing Gucci, forget about Spider-Man. Forget about a potential, maybe a foreign film jumping in there, because now we're looking at.
We don't know yet.
Well, no. I mean, Drive My Car has to do good everywhere that it's nominated for it to get into the public consciousness. People have got to start seeing it too. You know,
Agreed.
So that's the other thing. But Gucci, it's got a decent cast. Let's put it. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say the cast is bad. It's just I don't think the movie's that great. It's not an awful movie, but it's not a great movie either. But you get some legends in there.
Yes. This is coming from a guy who actually really enjoyed himself in House of Gucci, but can look at it and be like, this is not a good film.
Yeah.
It's messy.
I'm
very
saying
messy.
Same thing with me. I enjoyed myself at House of Gucci. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It's like in between. It's a
Yes.
three-star movie. But you got the Jeremy Irons, you got the Al Pacinos, you got the Adam Drivers, you got a decent little cast. They only went with one big cast. All these are kind of 5, 6, 7-person casts, really.
Well, and this brings up the question: if the big blockbuster is not going to be Spider-Man: No Way Home, which I think might be dying right now, that talk it kind of peaked and then it started to slow down. With No Time to Die doing exceptionally well, leading the pack, I think almost in nominations. No Time to Die could be the blockbuster representation at the very end at number 10 if BAFTA can push it, because no one expected it to be good. No one expected it to make it into anything with related to SAG, except for maybe Stunt Ensemble, and it got that.
But the other thing you got to remember is it's all over the place in the shortlists of the Academy Awards.
That too.
So that might be a sign that they love No Way to Die and they want to champion it, No Time to Die, as like a Return of the King type of situation where Return of the King got in everything and it won everything. This is their way of saying, we're going to reward these 5 films for Daniel Craig and these people that made these 5 films relatively, even though it's Cary Fukunaga directed this when it wasn't some of the other directors, but it's Daniel Craig. It's a lot of the same people. It's Ralph Fiennes. It's Judi Dench. It's Ben Whishaw. It's Naomi Harris. It's a lot of the same people that were here in the last 2 movies, and some of them 3. So maybe it's their way of saying, hey, we want to show our love for these last 5 James Bond movies by giving it a lot of these below the line categories and potentially a Best Picture.
And don't mind me, I'm just getting really hot in this car now with this tie and suit.
Dune was the one I thought was going to be that, that big
ensemble,
that was going to get in this SAG ensemble and then go to the Oscars and get into like 10 categories, But now you could be right.
So whoops, see, we knew that was going to happen eventually. We'll wrap it up because I know I have to go into work in 5 more minutes. My break is over in 5 minutes. So we'll wrap this up by saying, what's your biggest takeaway, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, for me, there was no excuse for SAG not to have Kristen Stewart and for Spencer. That
was shocking.
It's an absolute glaring omission, in my opinion, and it shouldn't have happened.
I will say, I think this was not a good day for Belfast. This is not a good day for Belfast.
It was ensemble.
It did get ensemble.
And Catriona Balfe got into
true, but it missed out on both
supporting actor. Yeah, it missed out on supporting actor.
It missed out on supporting actor. I think honestly that we're looking at the possibility of Belfast maybe losing steam. I don't know, but the fact that it missed 2 of its prospective SAG nominations, I don't think anyone left this unscathed. Like even something like Nightmare Alley, which got a boost today because of Kate Blanchett, I don't think that's going to help in the long run because it got nowhere else. Don't Look Up got the single nomination in ensemble. Power of the Dog did fine. Everyone did exactly what it expected to do, save it made for ensemble, but I guess that was not too much of a shock. Yeah, although House of Gucci, I will say, could be this year's, every year there is like 1 or 2 movies that are not Best Picture contenders or don't make it into Best Picture, but they're kind of more populist picks. House of Gucci could be that, a la Crazy Rich Asians. I'll never forget that nomination, which is a super cool nomination. Or look at that. Look at The Five Bloods missed out last year. Maybe that's also the case this year. And I'm just kind of doing a really poor comparison of The Five Bloods with House of Gucci, which are not the same film whatsoever.
No, but like Last Duel could have been that movie where they could have really championed Last Duel by giving it some of these types of things, and nothing. Absolutely nothing. So there goes. Forget about that movie.
Which is unfortunate because Jodie Comer gets probably one of the best leading female performances of the year.
I love Ben Affleck in it. I just love the set production. I think it could get into set production.
Although Affleck made it.
For the Tender Bar, which I had that.
Good call. I didn't think that would be the case, but he made it. He didn't, although he missed out on the long list of BAFTA. So
forget about that.
I'm curious at what this means. When I mean what this means, I'm curious at what this means in regards to. Obviously, he's not going to make it into BAFTA, but does this obviously boost his chances? And we don't have a front runner unless we count Cody Smith-McPhee. So yeah, no, we do have a front runner, Cody Smith-McPhee, but.
Well, they love. I mean, not to sound like a broken record, it's the acting branch is the largest voting branch of the Academy Awards. So if Ben Affleck got into SAG, which is all actors, he's got a legitimate shot of getting into the Oscars for Best Supporting Actor.
Agreed. So
once you see the movie, I think you'll agree with me.
For Kindergarten,
time right now.
I will watch it. I forgot it was out until you reminded me this past episode, so I'm gonna give that a watch this week. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up now because again, work starts for me very soon. I guess my last takeaway is that I don't think anyone had a great day today. No, King Richard, while I got ensemble, missed Ingenue. Belfast got an ensemble, but it missed two of these other ones. Don't Look Up got an ensemble, but it also missed out on Everything Below the Line. Power of the Dog missed ensemble, but it got all these other things. So there is no clear front runner in my mind, but this does hurt someone like Kristen Stewart. This does hurt someone like Kieran Hines. It shows that there is not universal support, and I think we need to look out for someone like Nicole Kidman. And Will Smith, I think, even though Ingenue Ellis missed, I still think we need to look out for Will Smith. I don't think that changes anything at this point still, unless you...
Yeah,
disagree?
No, I think that ensemble
right.
Nomination actually helps King Richard, and it could really propel it in the Oscars.
Yes, it does. All right, so I'm already starting to untake my tie right now because I got to go back into work. So Dan, where can they find you?
You can always find me at disappointmentmedia.com, where I write about all kinds of things, and my blog From the Fourth Row at wordpress.com. At .wordpress.com, and my name, Dan Skip Allen, all over social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Letterboxd, you name it.
And you can find me trying to get my tie undone right now because it's suffocating me. Not really, but you can find me on Twitter at Cine_man. That's CINE_MANN. You're going to find me immediately after recording this, going to actually see what the heck is going on film Twitter right now. And you can find me on Letterboxd at Manning_Franks, as well as here on Gone with the Wind on Take 3 Productions, as well as this is a YouTube page, as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, wherever you can find podcasts. Thank you guys for listening to the special episode of SAG Reactions. I'm going back to work now. It's 1:30 exactly. Y'all have a lovely day. And we'll see y'all at the movies.